Welcome to Exploring Mysteries channel. We're excited to have you with us in today's video. Tonight, we begin with a real mystery, one that scholars and skeptics alike have never fully explained. But that's just the beginning. In this video, we're diving deep into the 5 most mysterious uncontacted tribes on Earth and uncovering what their existence reveals about lost knowledge, hidden timelines, and possibly ancient truths deliberately left undiscovered. This is not a quick video. It's long, but every minute reveals crucial knowledge, the kind you won't find in textbooks or mainstream media. To avoid misunderstanding or spreading half-truths, I urge you to watch it in full. Don't forget to subscribe for more mysteries, forbidden knowledge, and ancient secrets delivered with facts and reflection. And tell me in the comments, do you think these tribes are protecting themselves from us or protecting us from what they know? Let's begin. 1. The Korubo tribe, Brazil. Deep in the impenetrable green vastness of the Amazon basin live the Korubo, a tribe shrouded in mystery and frequently misunderstood. Referred to as the clubbers by early explorers due to their weapon of choice, the Korubo are emblematic of tribal resilience in the face of modern encroachment. Their primary weapons, heavy wooden clubs and poisoned darts, are not just tools of aggression, but symbols of a long-standing defensive culture developed in response to external threats. These weapons reflect centuries of refined knowledge of the forest, its dangers, its toxins, and its rituals. Since their first documented contact with the Brazilian government in 1972, efforts to communicate with the Korubo have been riddled with tragedy. 7 census workers were killed during attempts to establish peaceful contact. But what appears as hostility on the surface is deeply rooted in the tribe's collective memory. Tales passed down of devastating encounters with loggers, miners, and traffickers. These stories fuel their deep suspicion of outsiders. The Korubo tribe is not homogeneous. A notable event in 1997 highlights this complexity. Peaceful contact was achieved with a segment of the tribe, leading to hopes of building a cultural bridge. However, not all members were on board. Splinter factions, mistrustful and cautious, abandoned their kin and vanished deeper into the forest. This fracturing reveals the internal divisions that can arise even within uncontacted groups when faced with the dilemma of contact versus preservation. This tribe is one among nearly 70 uncontacted groups in the Amazon. What's striking is their ability not just to survive, but to actively defend their autonomy. These groups are not relics of the past, they are actively shaping their futures by choosing seclusion. The Amazon is not just their home, it is their fortress. The Korubo story is not just about survival, it's about sovereignty. In a world that often equates advancement with assimilation, the Korubo remind us that evolution can take many forms. Their rejection of contact is not a regression, but a deliberate strategy, a mode of preservation, autonomy, and identity. In 2019, a Brazilian government agency made a rare overflight to capture aerial footage of a Korubo settlement. The images were blurry, the clearing small, but the presence was unmistakable. Carefully placed thatched huts, smoke curling from fires, and paths cut through the forest floor. It was a haunting reminder that life thrives even in invisibility. 2. Mashco-Piro tribe, Peru. Unlike the Korubo, the Mashco-Piro came into public view through a fleeting accidental moment. A tourist filming along Peru's Manu River in 2011 captured what would become the most detailed visual record of this elusive tribe. Unaware of the cultural significance of his footage, the tourist unknowingly opened a floodgate of media attention and scientific interest. But this fascination soon turned fatal. Subsequent expeditions into Mashco-Piro territory were marred by tragedy. In a chilling incident, a local guide was struck through the heart with a poisoned arrow, an unmistakable sign that the tribe did not welcome intrusion. This act wasn't senseless violence. It was a message rooted in a deep-seated need for protection. With immune systems unexposed to common viruses, even a handshake could prove deadly for them. Peru's Ministry of Environment enacted a strict ban on contact, prioritizing the tribe's right to isolation over the curiosities of anthropologists or the ambitions of missionaries. Yet, the world continues to impose itself. Illegal logging, land grabs, and even drug trafficking in the Amazon force the Mashco-Piro to make difficult decisions. In recent years, sightings of tribe members approaching nearby villages have increased. They don't come in peace or in surrender. They come seeking weapons, tools of survival in a hostile world. These interactions reveal a tragic paradox. The tribe most vulnerable to contact is also being pushed into it by necessity. Their emerging presence at the forest's edge is not a gesture of trust, but a cry for defense. In one particularly chilling case in 2016, a small group of Mashco-Piro approached a village, holding out machetes and plastic containers. They were not begging, they were bargaining. A tense standoff ensued, but it underscored their growing desperation. The Mashco-Piro occupy a perilous space between invisibility and forced visibility. Their movements, their appearances, and their silence speak volumes. They are resisting not just outsiders, but a world that refuses to leave them alone. 3. Sentinelese Tribe, North Sentinel Island. On a small, lush island in the Bay of Bengal, surrounded by turquoise waters and coral reefs, lives the Sentinelese tribe. Their isolation is among the most complete in the world. Unlike the forest tribes of South America or the highland peoples of Papua, the Sentinelese are maritime hunter-gatherers. Their knowledge of their island and its surrounding ocean is vast and precise, despite their limited technological development. The Sentinelese have made their desires clear: stay away. In 2006, 2 fishermen who drifted too close to their shores were killed. A retrieval mission via helicopter was met with a flurry of arrows. No words were exchanged, no attempts at negotiation were made. The Sentinelese do not parley, they protect. Despite modern efforts to map, monitor, and even understand them, the Sentinelese have maintained their distance. This is partially because of Indian policy. Visits to North Sentinel Island are banned and heavily enforced, but largely due to the tribe's fierce territorial nature. The 2018 death of missionary John Allen Chaw further underscored the tribe's resistance. His journey to bring Christianity to the islanders was seen as a violation, not just of policy, but of the tribe's clear wishes. It reignited ethical debates about the limits of outreach, religious or otherwise, in the face of cultural sovereignty. What the Sentinelese teach us is the concept of absolute refusal. Their lives are not mysteries to be solved or resources to be studied. They are human beings who have drawn a line and defend it with everything they have. Interestingly, some anthropologists speculate that the Sentinelese may have been the descendants of some of the earliest human populations to migrate out of Africa, preserving a Paleolithic way of life. Their language, gestures, and social structure remain utterly mysterious. 4. Pintupi Nine, Australia. The Pintupi Nine are perhaps the most unique example in this list, not because of their isolation, but because of their return. The Pintupi are an Aboriginal group native to the western desert of Australia, and for decades they were presumed to have all been relocated due to nuclear testing in the 1960s. The desert, believed to be uninhabitable, was suddenly proven otherwise when in 1984, a small nomadic family group was discovered living entirely disconnected from modern society. This group, dubbed the Pintupi Nine, had survived through traditional means, hunting with spears, sourcing water from roots, and navigating the desert with ancestral knowledge. When they first encountered relatives who had already been assimilated into town life, the cultural shock was immense. The Pintupi Nine represent a rare instance where reintegration was attempted from within. Some of the Nine chose to remain in settlements, while others returned to their ancestral lands. Their case is not one of forced assimilation, but rather a voluntary, if uneasy, reconnection. This tribe demonstrates that isolation is not always an absolute. It can be porous, reversible, and dynamic. Their experience offers a contrasting narrative, one of hybridization, resilience, and the enduring power of indigenous identity in the face of modernization. An anecdote that has often been retold involves one of the Pintupi Nine encountering a car for the first time and describing it as a moving rock. These first-hand reactions to modernity illustrate the vast conceptual gap and the capacity for adaptation when approached on their own terms. 5. Ruc People, Vietnam. Hidden in the karst-laced jungles of central Vietnam are the Ruc, a reclusive group with deep spiritual traditions and a reputation for secrecy. Initially discovered during the Vietnam War by soldiers venturing into remote areas, the Ruc quickly became subjects of fascination due to their near-invisible existence and reported mystical practices. Ruc shamans are said to wield influence over animals, summon rain, and even inflict illness, a blend of animist belief and oral legend that lends the group an aura of supernatural control. These stories may appear fantastical, but to local villagers and some researchers, the Ruc embody a form of jungle intelligence deeply intertwined with their environment. The most infamous story involving the Ruc involves a foreign researcher who reportedly died after violating a sacred taboo during a visit. Though skeptics point to natural causes, others insist it was a spiritual reprisal. Whether fact or myth, the tale underscores the depth of belief surrounding this tribe. Unlike other uncontacted tribes, the Ruc have had intermittent interactions with the Vietnamese government. Some have relocated to permanent housing, though many remain in the forest. This fluid boundary between worlds makes them particularly enigmatic. They exist in liminality between the seen and unseen, the contacted and the hidden. The Ruc remind us that seclusion isn't always geographic. Sometimes it's spiritual. Their world is shaped as much by myths as by trees, and their preservation is not just a matter of territory, but of belief systems that resist easy categorization. In 2022, a team of ethnobotanists working near Ruc territory discovered a series of ancient carvings in a secluded limestone cave, depictions of half-human, half-animal figures surrounded by symbols. While the Ruc did not claim authorship, they acknowledged the site's sacred nature, adding another layer to their enigmatic spiritual landscape. As we reach the end of this long and winding journey, one thing becomes clear. These tribes are not just cultural outliers. They are living testaments to alternate ways of being, shields of forgotten wisdom, untouched rituals, and perhaps unrecorded truths. Their rejection of the outside world isn't just survival. It may be preservation of something far older, far deeper, and far more sacred than we imagine. Whether it's the Korubo defending their jungle with poisoned darts, or the Sentinelese refusing the very idea of civilization, or the Ruc casting spells in forests steeped in myth, each of these tribes raises a mirror to our assumptions. What if they are the last guardians of something we've already lost? If you've made it this far, thank you. That means you're one of the few who truly seek to understand, not just consume. Please like this video to support our deep dive research. Leave a comment sharing what surprised you the most, and subscribe if you believe the world is bigger and stranger than we've been told. Until next time, keep questioning everything. And remember, truth doesn't fear mystery, it embraces it.